Welcome back, folks, to the Q&A. And we're on section 3, general questions. Questions that are general in nature, a few of which involve Let's Playing, most of which don't. Question number 1. How old are you? I'm 27 at the time of recording this video. What field do you work in? Wheat fields are good, barley occasionally if the wheat field isn't handy. Who is my favourite other Let's Player? There are a number of Let's Players that I watch. I watch a lot of Halloween 4545, 1F Jeff, or Jeff Major as he's called, Grimmeth, Nicofell's good, Frankomatic is awesome, Unplayed a Thing. Check them all out, they're all very good. Which Halloween Let's Play is your favourite? Ooh. To be honest, I'm a huge fan of his Penumbra ones. The Penumbra ones I think are very good. I think they're my favourite. The first and second Penumbra ones, they're my favourites of his. What do you think of Pathfinder and 4th edition Dungeons & Dragons? We are playing a Pathfinder campaign now as we speak in our D&D group. We're using Pathfinder rules for the Eberron's games, which my DM finds annoying because he has to constantly update the every monster we encounter, but we enjoy the rules. 4th edition we think are trash. The 4th edition rules are trash, and Wizards of the Coast should be ashamed of themselves for it. How big is your game collection? Pretty big. I have about 280 Mega Drive games, well over 100 PlayStation 2 games, loads of PC games in my Steam library and good old games and over there. And I've got Master System games, Nintendo games, that's NES, Atari games, lots. Many hundreds is the answer. What is your dream profession? Well, my dream profession is to inherit billions from my parents, if they happen to strike oil or something while walking somewhere, and retire as a rich billionaire. Or an author. How long do you game on any day? Depends if I'm working or not, to be honest. I like gaming a lot. A lot. That's probably the answer. Have you ever considered making a music album? No. Not really. I'm not the best singer in the world. I mean, I'm not that good at singing, guys. Do you accept fan art? Yes. If you want to draw fan art, feel free to. Link it in... PM it to me. PM me the link to wherever the fan art is, and I'll gladly accept it. And look at it. I usually enjoy fan art. It's awesome. Do you have a donate button? No, but I have a donate link in my About Me section on the right on the channel. If you expand it, it's right there. Do you like being asked questions? No, I absolutely hate it, and that is why I decided to do a question and answers. Questions are fine. Too many. Do you like your viewers? Yes, I have no particular qualms with my viewers. You guys watch my videos and like them, so why would I not like you? What consoles do you own? Ah, consoles. We're on to the console question. I own a Mega Drive, a 32X, that's in the loft, a broken Mega CD, unfortunately I haven't got around to replacing that, and to be honest, I'm not really fussed about that one. I own an NES, an SNES, an N64, a GameCube, a Wii, a PlayStation 1, a PlayStation 2, an Xbox and an Xbox 360, an Amiga 500, a Atari 2600, a Master System, a Saturn, a Dreamcast, Amstrad GX 4000, I'm quite happy about that one, a Game Boy Pocket, a Game Boy Color, a Game Boy Advance, a Game Boy DS, a Game Boy Advance SP, DSi, and a Game Gear. Yeah, but those are all the consoles I own. Yeah. Where are we up to? What are your computer specs? I cannot remember off the top of my head for the life of me. I do, however, remember that my computer has 8 gigs of RAM and quite a nice graphics card. Somebody asked me, like, if I will update my gaming rig so that I can play better games, to which I wanted to say, I do have an up-to-date gaming rig. So, I can play modern games. So, I can play quite a few new games, most new games, without difficulty. I mean, my computer's capable of running them, so I can't give you the exact specs. It's because I don't really know off the top of my head, and it's newish. We built it last year, so middle of last year, and it's pretty powerful. Not the most powerful thing out there, but it does what I need it to do, and that's good. How do you know Necroscope86? I was actually his inspiration to Let's Play. He started Let's Playing because he saw what I did and wanted to do it. So I inspired him to Let's Play, and that's how I know him. And he got talking to me, and we started doing collabs together, and we know each other like that. If you had a superpower, what would it be? Now, I'm a big fan of Mr. Immortal from Marvel, because his superpower is absolutely fantastic. The only problem with it, though, is that if you got yourself in a situation where you're trapped, and you just keep dying and coming back and then dying again, it's quite horribly painful. So my superpower would probably be the ability to transcend mortal being, and thus become both timeless, ageless, and unable to be affected by humans, so that I'm truly eternal. And being timeless, the ability to reverse time as well would be quite nice, so then when the universe is about to end I could just go back to the beginning of time, or time travel would do as well, and be able to just travel back to the beginning of the universe, and that would be pretty cool. Where do you find the time and energy? I've been doing this hobby for over a year, or two. You are by far the most consistent content creator I've ever come across. How do you do it? A schedule and not pushing myself. If you push yourself too much when you do Let's Plays, you burn out. Don't burn out, people. Take things steady. You have all the time in the world. Do you have facial hair? Someone asked if they hear occasional scratchings when I play. Do I have facial hair? I have a goatee beard. And the rest of a beard sometimes when I can't be bothered to shave it, which normally results in me shaving it. So, do I have a goatee beard? Yes, I have a beard. I didn't used to have a beard, but when I started Let's Playing I pretty much grew a goatee beard. Have you ever read or watched The Walking Dead? No. And I'm not really interested in doing so. I mean, the game looks cool, but no, not for me, I don't think. Do I have a plan in getting any of my writing published? I'm editing my first novel as I speak, very slowly, because editing takes forever, in the hopes of eventually getting it published. Yes. What is the best thing to have happened to you as a consequence of Let's Playing? Video game voice acting, actually. If any of you have ever played Primordia, look for me in that. I'm not in it a lot, but I'm in it. So look for me in Primordia. I'm also working on other stuff as well, very slowly. What is your beverage of choice when you do Let's Plays? Pepsi Max. There's a cup right here of it next to me. So Pepsi Max is my beverage of choice when it comes to Let's Playing. Do you have any regrets when you started doing Let's Plays? No, not really. I mean, I regret I never ran away to join the circus. But apart from that, pretty cool. Something fell. What was it? I'd recognise your voice anywhere, but what do you look like? I look like a human being. For other people that have said, will I have a picture-in-picture or a scare cam when I do Let's Plays? No. Sorry to disappoint you, but I would prefer people not to be looking at my face while I play a game. I'm not that interesting when I'm to look at when I'm playing a game, really. Not that interesting. So, it's better this way. Any hobbies outside of gaming? Well, I write. I play Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, I play Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing games. Yeah. I like reading. I like watching some films specific films that I enjoy. That's pretty much it. Are you single? I am a singular entity of an individual mind, unlike those people with Gestalt minds or Siamese twins. So I am a singular physical being. As in, there are no clones of me, no duplicates, and I'm not forcibly attached to anyone. So, I hope that answered your question. Where did you get your awesome sense of humour? Well, 2-for-1 offer at Poundland. No. I have... Hello. I have no idea. It's just something about me. It's my sense of humour. I got it somewhere in my youth, and it just sort of stuck as a weird sort of odd thing. So, no, I don't know where I got it from. If you find the store which sells it, you're more than welcome to buy some. But otherwise, no. And now we get to the fun part. Very specific questions. These specific questions are ones that people have asked that were so interesting and quirky and peculiar that I decided I just had to answer these ones and specifically mention the people who are asking them. So if you're mentioned here, well done. You have piqued my interest with your questions enough that I have done a question for you. Well, you've done a question that I have answered. So, also, so sorry if I say any of your names are horribly wrong, but there is no chance that I will get some of these right. Also, I've got enough for a bed. Okay, Kui-kun asks, how did Barry Coleman become a rock collector? Well, this is a simple thing. When you play a role-playing game, you hoard everything. I mean, you do. Role-playing game players collect everything. They hold on to everything they possibly can, just in case it might be useful. And those rocks are going to be useful one day. One day, I will turn... The warlord is going to be like, what do we do to stop the Coleman? Well, it's quite simple, sir. We just have the way to the ultimate item. I don't know, village a zombie. The way to the ultimate item, the Apple of Dawn, be protected by 70 individual plates that can only be opened by pushing a single rock. You mean 70 pressure plates that need a rock on them? You'll never have 70 rocks. And then you have 70 rocks, and then you win. They'll be useful. Trust me. Oraterios, what is your favourite cheese? Cheddar. Quite a fan of the boring cheese, I'm afraid. Boring cheese, oh, ow, suits me just fine. Did you like Red Dwarf Series 10? Yes, I found it was very funny. I wasn't expecting it to be very funny, but it turned out to be very funny, and I'm happy it was. Thecamania? What car do you have? It's a Peugeot. It does the job. It's nice. Northern Star Dragon and many others. How come you will not play Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil? Is it as an LP? Is it because it is too short or gameplay? This started off as a little joke of I didn't intend to let's play Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil because I just didn't feel like it at the time, and then so many people asked that I started just not doing it because so many people were asking for it. Now, I just don't feel like doing it. I really just don't feel like playing Resurrection of Evil. I mean, it's more of the same, it's more Doom, and some people will say, yeah, but you played Doom 2 and Evolution, but I wanted to play Doom 2 and Evolution, and I'm not really hyped to play the others. I mean, I'm really not hyped to play Resurrection of Evil like I was to play Doom. And even at the end of Doom, it was starting to get a bit tedious. constantly doing the same things. So, yeah, that's pretty much why. I mean, it's very unlikely I'll be doing it in the future. I'm sorry, but it's not likely. Also, here is a bed. We need to make more room in my hole in the ground. Okay, next question. Why are you trolling us in your Anvil of Dawn by not getting rid of the 20 bajillion rocks? That is from Kaz PWI. I think I explained it with the question about why did Barry Coleman become a rock collector. They'll be useful. Trust me. Trust me, I will find a use for all of those rocks. And we'll throw them all at the Warlord, and it will be good. Conflux Games asked a few that were interesting. What is your quest? Well, it's to seek the Holy Grail. What is your favourite colour? I have 3, actually. One of them is blue, so I don't die. And black and silver. If you were in a zombie apocalypse, which game character would you take with you? Any game character that can cure disease innately. Any of them would be fine. Have you considered merchandise? Yes, I have considered in the past getting merchandise and doing the shirts and that, but I just need enough ideas. Hot Bohemian Potato asks me, do you play poorly designed Barbie games that are clearly pure torture out of some perverse pleasure or to purely entertain us? A little from column A, a little from column B. I just enjoy them. They're relatively easy to play, they're funny, making fun of Barbie is funny, so I enjoy it. And sometimes they're just pure torture. Ultra Henk asks, how Yorkshire are you? Not very at all. If you asked a true Yorkshireman how Yorkshire they were, you'd know. Rumble G1, regarding Daikatana, is your Let's Play a bit completely dead, or if a way has been found to allow you to continue from the point you left off, would you? It's dead. I mean, it's so dead. I actually did get the game working a bit. I managed to skip forward to where I was, gave myself weapons, and then the game crashed. So, no, I mean, it's never happening again, I don't think. I think it's done. Kami Kumai asks, what would you do if you were her Barbie in her Barbie world? Well, it is quite simple. I would summon Cthulhu and end it. Because I am Barbie, the destroyer of universes. Sean May, can I have a cookie? Yes, go get it yourself. Mariachi99 asks me, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Well, a woodchuck would chuck no amount of wood since a woodchuck can't chuck wood. And then he would say, but if a woodchuck could chuck and would chuck some amount of wood, what amount of wood would a woodchuck chuck? Even if a woodchuck could chuck wood, and even if a woodchuck would chuck wood, should a woodchuck chuck wood? A woodchuck should chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood, as long as a woodchuck would chuck wood. I know you're telling me to shut up now, so I'll carry on. Hovey Steve asks, in your videos you remind me of Richard O'Brien from the Crystal Maze. How do you feel that you're the game equivalent of the former presenter of the Crystal Maze, in my eyes at least? Honoured. Because the Crystal Maze with Richard O'Brien was awesome. Retro Joe asks, in the Ultima 7 videos, you say a quote from Godzilla 2, the quote being, that's a lot of fish. When I heard you say it, my initial reaction was it was a quote from Broken Sword 2. So the question is it from Broken Sword 2 or Godzilla? It's from Godzilla. Terribly sorry to disappoint you, it's from Godzilla. What time of day is it out there? Still dark. Varna asks, how many people sent you a message, mainly for the 5-year Q&A, asking if you would do Let's Plays with them? A lot more than you think. Nevroth asks, would you ever do a run of Kingdom O' Magic? If not, why not? How do you know what's on my shelves? I was given Kingdom O' Magic by my sister's husband when they were clearing out his loft and it was just there. I have looked at it. It looks atrocious. At some point, maybe I might. Vampiric Tarot, sorry. Tarot asks, if you were a Nick McFeagle, which would you be? No idea. They're all diverse and different in their own unique ways. Doc Carnage, what happened to Rocky Jockey McGee? Did you have him committed? Sadly no, we tried to commit him and then he flew off into space to go fight the Zorgal Potato Warriors. He said he'd be back as soon as the Black Lock was recovered for Earth. We might not see him for a while, but he might pay a visit at some point. Zenius the Business asks, if you had been born a girl, would you be more inclined to wear pink panties or white panties? First, we have to ask you what inspired you to even ask that question, and secondly, clearly the answer would be underwear with the painting of a panda relaxing among flowers. I hope that answers your question. MML129, have you ever actually fired a chain gun in real life? No. I fired a longbow, but not a chain gun. The Dark Mage 96, what was your greatest D&D moment? Killing a god. Barry Coleman surviving an entire campaign from level 3 and killing a god at the end of it. I think that pretty much is important and pretty awesome. Quinn Coble asks, you're trapped in a perfectly square room with each walls covered in all sorts of memorabilia that dates back from the 60s and below. In front of you is a girl that keeps saying gup every 3 seconds. What is the first thing you say? Use lantern. Probably not what you wanted to hear, but that's what I'd do. Doodles Boticus asks, have you ever been to the United States? If so, where have you gone and did you like it? Have you ever been or wanted to go to the state of Washington? I went to the States once. I spent a week in New York and a week in Florida. They're both nice. I did enjoy going, and no, I haven't been to the state of Washington. I don't really feel like wanting to go. Although at some point I would like to go back to New York, I think. Two Hackabacca asks, how many knuckle push-ups, strictly on your secant, front 2 knuckles, are you able to do? If less than 2, how many regular push-ups are you able to do? Well, you haven't really specified any specific time frame for that, so if given eternity, I could theoretically do an unlimited number. But I don't know is your proper answer. Hinterhog, do you have any thoughts about how to solve the measurement problem in quantum mechanics? If not, would you subscribe to my hypothesis of luring a cat out of the box with some ragtime piano or smooth jazz? No cool cat with its life intact could give up on the groove, I reckon. I subscribe to that notion because ragtime and cool smooth jazz can get anyone out of a box. Energeminum asks, would you rather fight a horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? Also, theoretically, if you were married for 10 years, would you rather get home to see your wife in action with another man or with your old loyal dog Barney? Firstly, you have to ask yourself, are these horse ducks or duck horses armed? And if so, what are they armed with? I mean, theoretically, I prefer to sight a horse-sized duck, because I'll just throw some bread at it and it'll run away. As for the question about dogs and marriage, I've no idea. I'd probably be quite upset either way. Spoons86 asks, has the fame come with the money and the power? Are you swimming in chips and gold-plated sextants? No. It didn't. Gimok2K5 asks, are you a cat person or a dog person? I've never had a pet in my life because my family has a fur allergy in it. I don't think I have a fur allergy, but they have, so I've never had a pet, so neither. What inspired you to do more manly games like Barbie, Rodland, and others? Leloni Bunny asks, because it's manly! What better way to manly things up than play manly games? They're fun, they're light-hearted, and they are manly! Barker Lasul asks, when did your interest in LEGO appear? When I was exceptionally young, and I played with copious quantities of LEGO before it was sold. And I must admit, ate some small quantity of LEGO as well, because everyone ate at least a few pieces. I probably have a small $1.99 set in price somewhere in my gizzard. So, yeah. Also, I'm riddled with arrows right now. Azure Octave asks, what's my favourite place to eat and food to eat there? Fish and chip shops. I love having fish and chips with a battered sausage and curry sauce. Lorian the Mage asks, why do you get so much mail when recording Let's Plays? I knew this question would come up when I answered the door, because it's the time I record the videos, early on in the day. Record them early in the day, which means I am prone to having people ask me, like prone to people coming over and deciding to deliver mail. So there you go. There's your answer. Arkan17, why do you have such an interesting voice? I apparently was bribed to answer this one. I've no idea. I've no idea why my voice sounds like this. No one else in my family has a voice like this at all. I'm the only one. It is the wonderful, wonderful thing about Tigers, after all. So, no idea is the answer. Perhaps a linguist would be very curious to try and find out where my accent came from, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't have a clue. Trexmaster12, sometimes I have the impression that you're a redhead working as a chef. Am I wrong? Yes. Second to last question. Why so much sniffling? Drugs? Sinus problem? Because everyone expects it now. Always sick? Habit? Now let's be serious here, folks. Be serious for a moment. Go an official statement here. Go on the record to say that I have not, and will never, and am not, ever going to use performance-enhancing drugs to enhance the power and effectiveness of my Let's Playing. Thank you. But seriously, I've always had a bit of a rubbish nose. It's always been a bit terrible, and I think it's just a habit. It's been going away slowly, so it's getting better. It's just something that happens. Not always ill, I don't know. And the last question. That was Lost In's Thought who asked that one. Also, Roger.f asks, where does the character Loopy McGoopin come from? I made him up. Much like Kikoskia's name, Loopy McGoopin is a fictional character that I've made up that has now become associated with my channel. And that little Lego figure. And he's a Lego figure, and I like Lego. So, folks, that is all of the questions that I'm going to answer for the Q&A. And I highly hope that you've enjoyed listening to my questions. I know that there are some people that haven't had their questions answered, and I apologise for that. But I hope that the questions that I have answered have satisfied you. So, folks, that was 5 years, and what a 5 years it's been. It's been 5 years of interesting things. Like, Let's Playing has become something that's a part of my life, and I never expected it to be as big as it is. And I never expected it to be as... I never expected it to be as awesome. Or for you guys to like it, or for... So many games that I've played because of Let's Playing that I never would have played otherwise. So, here's hopefully to another 5 years. As somebody asked, will I be doing this 5 years from now? I hope so. So here's to another 5 years, and here's to you all enjoying it. I feel glad to have finally reached this milestone, and I hope you all feel glad as well to have been watching. So, I'm Kikoskia. That was 5 years of Q&A. Wait, I've not been Q&Ing for 5 years. Until then, folks, until then, I'll catch you later. See you then. Later.